Welcome everybody. My name is Sadhana. I'm just going to get the other window open and we'll get going. This is going to be a really kind of feisty chat. Just warning you. I haven't done a video like this, maybe never, maybe in a long time. And I'm going to let you know what I think. I have a feeling as well that this is going to be a part one. I almost went on, oops, I need to turn that off. Close player. I almost went on a couple minutes ago and just changed it and added a part one so I could give myself the liberty of doing a part two because I have a lot of things I want to share with you and talk about today. And I'm really looking forward to your opinions as well too, because I learn so much from you. I just want to get my water. It's buried deeply amongst all the stuff I have on my table. And I may or may not open my other window just because I've got so many things lying around here. So welcome everybody. For those of you that are new, hello, my name is Sadhana. I'm an intuitive reader and healer and absolutely, what I want to say, the work that I do with tarot is really special. And not only do I love working with individuals and my own self-healing journey, but also teaching. It's one of my passions, and I'm fortunate that I've been able to integrate my love of teaching with tarot. So I'm just having so much fun with the classes. So I want to thank all of you that have jumped in and been a part of those, whether it's a short one-day thing or an extended period of time. Must. I had a very busy day in Vancouver yesterday. And yeah, got everything done. It's challenging because I live a ferry ride away from a major city. So it's a big deal to go to the city, and the ferries have not been all that reliable lately. So I tried to get everything packed in. Okay, so I want to say hi to all of you, and then we're going to get to it. Tamian was here first, so thank you, Tamian. And hello to you. Dancing Soul Sister Hannah, welcome. Thank you so much for your super chat, Donna. I appreciate it. Who else do we have here? Scrolling on down. Janine, namaste. Welcome. Irene, good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Dee, hello. Hello, lovely Dee. How are things in the UK? Is it I guess you have about the same weather that we do, depending on where you are in the UK. I'm not sure. It is cool here. We're in this transition. It's really hard. This kind of 2 steps back, 2 steps forward. The world can't decide if we're in spring or not yet. Yes, part one and part two, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Why I'm thinking about that. Vintage Moon, Sissy, right? Hello, Sissy. Namaste. Welcome to you. I don't even have to go to my list because I think I got that right. And we have both Donnas here. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. The 2 Donnas. How lovely is that? This is going to be totally fun and nothing serious. Next week will be a little bit more serious because I'm going to with the part 2, but this one is just, this is fun. The deal breaker hashtag has been my favorite so far. Yeah. Samara. So welcome to you, Shandi. Lovely. Aloha. And I guess you are in the warmest climate of everyone so far that's here in the chat. Oh, Sissy, you don't need to be impressed. I've been working hard and I still haven't. My intention is, so I've been creating this list, and every time I write somebody's name down and I look at it, it kind of makes an impression. But I do want to print it and put it right here on my table. So for those people that don't pop in too often, it's so nice. I love it when people say my name on YouTube and they say, instead of saying, hi, Integrative Healing. My name's Sadhana. Please call me Sadhana. I like that. I like to be called out. Hello to Heather. Welcome to you as well too. And if I've missed you, I apologize. People are still coming in. 85 in Florida. Whoa. Okay. So, Shandy, what's the temperature in Hawaii? Are you on Maui? I have a feeling you're on Maui, but not sure. And Lily's here. Namaste, Lily. Welcome. Okay, so we have, do we have anybody from California? I know the weather's been warm in parts of California as well, too. Okay, and nobody today from, I have a few followers in different countries in Africa as well, too. So I'm sure it's warm, depending on where you are, how far you are away from the equator. And it's really, really cool. I'm so excited. I'm loving these connections. There's a couple of you that are in Mexico, a little closer, like a little further south in Mexico, and some followers in South America as well too. So I just feel blessed, and I learn so much. Oh, Heather, you used to live on the Big Island. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to see where. I missed the comment. So I'm assuming that I was Oahu now. Okay. Yes, it is early. So you are 2 hours earlier. So it's 10 a.m. where you are. Is that right? Audrey, namaste. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Ready? I am. I'm ready. So what I've decided to do, well, let me take off that other little thing. So many technical things to do here. There we go. Get rid of that one. What I have decided to do is to start from the outside in. That's my intention. But first of all, I want to talk about money. I want to talk about cost. Because so first of all, let's say thank you. Description box below. Meg is hilarious, and she's also full of insight and meaning. And I just discovered her through Candy Soul to Soil's channel. Candy's in the UK. She's lovely. Oh, God, great channel. If you don't follow Candy, make sure you check out Candy Soul to Soil, or Soil to Soul. I think it's Soul to Soil. So she was talking about Meg. And Meg is Rose Honey Ritual. I've watched a few of her videos now, and I haven't commented yet, but really, really enjoy listening to her and her content. Beautiful. So she's the one that I believe started Deck Deal Breakers. And then Beneficial Ben, Tarot Temptations. And so what I decided to do is to kind of join these two hashtags and kind of weave them together and talk about, while I may be tempted with something, what is it that is going to break the deal? And I think we can talk about this kind of, the whole picture. And my intention is I'm going to talk about money first, and then we're going to go from the outside to the inside. And I think it's going to take me two live streams to do this. Okay. Oh, you're here. You're here, Meg. Yay. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. I clicked on you so fast, I almost timed you out, but I'm really glad. So yeah, oh my God, I laughed so hard. So I want to tell you something. So when you did your video and you were talking about fabric waste, and that was totally brilliant. You could be my daughter. I'm sure you are one of my daughters in a past life, because both of my daughters are so conscious about this. They only buy at thrift stores, and I taught them how to sew when they were really little. So they're really good at repairing and altering and making things their own. And we've had fun over the years doing lots of sewing projects. So I'm really glad. And they're very grateful that I was always doing that. I was making their dance and skating costumes, and they learned to sew for craft fairs and all kinds of things. But anyway, when you started talking about the fabric waste, I could just hear two of my daughters, and I laughed really hard, because it's really serious. Waste is a huge problem. And then, so sorry for this little diversion. 2 Thanksgivings ago, I'm in Canada, so Canadian Thanksgiving is in October. Doesn't really matter. We were in the grocery store, Samantha and I. She hadn't been in a commercial grocery store for a long time. She tends to shop on bulk online or goes into more, smaller vegan. She lives in a small community, so type of markets and so forth, or if at all possible, shop at the market stands. And she was having a little meltdown, all of the plastic and the packaging and so forth. And I had planned the menu for Thanksgiving. And so I knew exactly what ingredients I needed and what I wanted to buy, because Thanksgiving shop is a huge, right? It's costs a lot of money, like many hundreds of dollars to feed my large family. So I didn't want to do any impulse shopping, knew exactly what I wanted to buy. So I could see her face getting redder and her disposition changing. And she was so upset. What her point of view was this: I should be, or we all should be, shopping for what is available that is not in plastic. So rather than shopping for the menu, she wanted me to create the menu around what was responsibly available, if that makes sense, right? So bring your own containers for the bulk food. Don't buy vegetables that are wrapped in plastic. Make sure you buy all your produce that is not wrapped. Stuff like that. Bring your own mesh bags and things to the grocery store. And I totally appreciated this. Like, she got really mad at me. And this happened 2 years ago, and it's changed me forever, the way that my daughter exploded like that. So I really appreciate that slap in the face. It didn't happen at a great time. It took me a little while to kind of process it all, but I got it now. So yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna, sorry, I see lots of comments here. Donna's tagged me in one. See if I can find it. Donna says, I'm older than you are, but can I be one of those daughters and learn to sew? It is. It's a great skill to have. It's so much fun, actually. It's a great skill. Okay, let's get to decks, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun things. So we're going to talk about money first. Money. Tarot Temptations. So there's a few decks that are on my wish list. And I want to say that there's multiple reasons for decks going on my wish list. And one that's been there for a long time is, and there's 2 of them from this company. One is Ethereal Orbs and Astro Soul, I believe. Because I have started to dive more into astrology, and I'm particularly interested in Vedic astrology, I wanted to acquire a few different decks that I can use to help me dive into that study. Unfortunately, the Ethereal Orbs deck costs 33 British pounds, pound sterling, 33 pounds sterling, which and $14 shipping. Sorry, 14 pounds shipping, which is 47 pounds total, which equates to $77 before getting slammed with customs. And one of the things I learned very, very early on, as most of you know, I lived in Japan when I was in my 20s. And I started to understand the power of, so there's the notes in Japan are, so they're like, there's 5,000, what was there, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000. And a 10,000 yen note, 10,000 yen was roughly around $100 if I convert it. But what I started to understand was that the power of that note was more like a $20 bill in Canada than a $100 bill. It's the way that it was used, the way that the mindset around it was really, really different. And so when I started to listen to people talk about the cost of tarot decks, I'm starting to understand that when somebody says a deck costs 33 pounds sterling, it's not unlike somebody saying that a deck might cost $33 here, which would be 50 US dollars. Um, I think that money is a really funny thing, and the perception of money really varies from country to country. And while I have been really tempted to purchase a lot of decks, it is the cost that is astronomical. And it might seem really funny to somebody that I'm a 33-pound deck is too expensive. But by the time it gets here, I've spent $100 on it. And that's a lot of money for a deck that's not a tarot deck. And it's just one that's going to supplement my study. So that's one example. Another deck that I have been coveting for some time is, and there's this absolutely gorgeous collection of decks. One of them is called Fine dalla Torre. Fin dalla Torre. The company is in Italy, and the deck costs 60 euros. The shipping is 30 euros, and so it would equate to around 125 Canadian dollars to acquire this deck, which looks very, very similar to a deck that I already have and love, love, love. It is more, it's different colorations. So most of you know this deck, right? But I, from time to time, really dive into my Tarot de Marseille, and there's something about this deck that it is an honest temptation. But you know what the deck deal breaker is? The deal breaker is that they ship by a company called DHL. And DHL is the only company that always has an additional, I don't know how they do it. They have some kind of a handling charge, and they always charge duty without fail. And there's other companies, sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes you get stung with duty and sometimes you don't. So the deal breaker is the shipping company that they have chosen to use. So that's really, it's just unbelievable. So there's no way at this time that I'm gonna purchase that deck. I just want to catch up with the chat a little bit. There's a few comments here. Okay, I got the sewing comment. And then Heather said, my mom used to sew all my dresses. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, it's a wonderful way to connect with your family. Thank you for the candle warning. Okay. Yeah, money. Hi, Darcy. Did I say hello to you? Welcome, Darcy. And you're aware, yeah. So isn't that funny? So the deck deal breaker is the courier company chosen by the creator, right? So I think that's really, really unfortunate. And other people are chiming in here as well too. So please know that if you are in the UK or Europe and you're using this company and shipping to North America, we don't like it. Maybe it's a great company over there, but over here it's just horrible. Okay. Darcy's been busy sewing masks. Wonderful. Let's go to Audrey's comment, and then I'm going to carry on about money. I have one more thing to say about money. I think sometimes for wanting something so badly, people get blind at the actual cost of the decks. I know, and I did that because I I had in my Etsy store box for a long time, um, a collection of decks, the Red Sea decks that, and then the tarot deck came out, and I thought, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and I'm going to get a Red Sea Oracle and a Red Sea Tarot because there's just something about it that I know that I'm going to love and work with. Um, I always go back to the energy of Shakti, and so I did it. It cost a bloody fortune. Do I regret it? No, but it's sitting there. I have yet to get to it. So for me, no buy right now is because I have enough. I have more than enough. I have enough tarot decks to take me through the rest of my life and then some. There's no way I will have time to study them all. And you know that I love to study tarot. It's just, tarot is brilliant. And the more energy you put into our decks, the better it is. So there's a few more things about money. So I'm in Canada, and there are quite a few brilliant Canadian deck creators. One of them is Black in the Moon. So Claire, you can type her name in. You know who I'm talking about, Black in the Moon, Claire something child. And another one that comes to mind is Ethany. And so a lot of Canadian deck creators, they list their decks in US dollars. So I have to pay for it in US dollars. And the difference between Canadian and US dollars is astronomical. And then the shipping is charged in US dollars. So for example, Ethany is shipping a deck right across the pond. I could actually drive over and pick it up if I wanted to. And the shipping charge is 15 US dollars, and which would be close to 20 Canadian dollars. And one of those prepaid little envelopes would cost 12 Canadian dollars. So that is a huge, that's one of, isn't that weird? That's one reason I don't have any of Ethany's decks. She's in Canada, sells in US dollars, and I have to pay for shipping in US dollars. And it's not because it's delivered out of the USA. So that is a huge deal breaker for me. And again, that might seem really weird, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Good child. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. And I know a lot of you are feeling all of this. The postage from the USA. Okay, so now Dee's chiming in from the other. So Dee's in the UK. The postage from the USA is horrible into the UK, but I've never paid import duty. So in Canada, it's hit or miss. Sometimes they charge and sometimes they don't. It doesn't necessarily depend on the value either. I feel like it's totally random. It depends whether or not the person at the customs is having a good day or not, you know? I used to think that they tracked you to see what your spending was from overseas or something, but obviously they don't do that. So that's good to know that you don't get hit every time. Sissy says, I'm slowing down on buying because of the guilt. My husband and I work so hard, and at my age should be saving and not buying so much. Yeah, I totally get it. Hey there, Tammy Pie. Namaste. Welcome to you. I will double check the Amazon store, but yeah, that's a whole other thing too. Amazon. I don't want to talk about Amazon. Right? You understand. And Andrew, hello, welcome to you. So I also want you to know that this is also what happened with Chris Ann and I. So I ordered Chris Ann's indie version of the Lightseers, and I paid through PayPal through a special invoice, and it got lost. And I never got the indie version of the deck. And I emailed her again and again and again. I replied to emails she had sent me. I never got the deck. She never refunded my money, never said I'm sorry, and I don't know. It was just the weirdest thing because she adjusted the price and the shipping cost, but then in the end, I never got it. So, because I went outside of the system. And I think a lot of this has to do with systems and the rules that we follow and so forth. So yeah, so big, it's kind of a bad taste in my mouth. Okay. And also, I want to say, um, so whether you're shopping on Amazon or eBay or Etsy or wherever you are, you must be so careful. There are counterfeit decks on every platform. Every single platform, there are counterfeit decks. And I have, yeah, so we must be really mindful when we're shopping and take a good look at where the deck is printed, where the deck is coming from to see if it's close to source or not. So yeah. So while certain decks, either for their content or mostly for their content, sometimes for their art style, are a temptation. A huge deal breaker is the money. So yeah. Okay, so there's one. Check. Money, 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 money. Now I want to talk to you about packaging because packaging is both a temptation and it's also a deal breaker. I have done a couple of videos recently unloading a whole bunch of my decks. Now, I don't know if you noticed that a lot of the decks I've been unloading are the ones that come in the big boxes. And much like Miss Meg Rose Honey Ritual, I do not want any more big boxes. I will probably not purchase your deck if you package it in a large box. I am at a point in my life where I'm trying to reduce the volume of space that my stuff takes up, and I just don't want it. And I'm going to do a little bit of a show and tell here because I have a few things to share. And I think I'd like to keep this positive rather than negative, because I think amazing things are possible in little packages. I see I'm being tagged, so let me go there. Donna got a damaged Mass Light Sears deck and never rebought it because of hearing your story. Yeah, it's a bad taste. I got it. The reason I ended up buying it, I have it, it's right here. It's because so many of my students use it and I needed to have a copy to look at myself. So I do, I have a mass market copy. Okay. Andrew just bought a very expensive deck. So this deck is $85 US, right? Oh, you bought the R black, not the true black. I know the true black I don't have. It's an $85 US deck before shipping. Yeah. Yeah, and it makes no sense that shipping is, and I know exactly what shipping costs because I ship stuff out all the time. So it's really unfortunate. Yeah. Wow. I also, when I have time to troll the charity shops, so charity shops we call thrift stores in Canada, I've never found a vintage tarot deck, but I'm always on the lookout for it. So I'm hoping that that would be so much fun. I would love that. Or I love going to people's garage sales. Imagine going to a garage sale and spying a little corner of tarot decks or just even one deck and finding something amazing there. Yeah. The angels are so with you. That's beautiful. Hi, Emma. Welcome. And yeah, this is, I was trying to get to Audrey's comment. Chat's going a little faster. Reprioritizing where we spend money. Okay. Yard sales. Yeah, so I always keep my eyes open for that. Okay, so good things in little packages. This is the Naked Heart Tarot before it went Amazon. So this particular deck, this particular box is, I have several boxes on the table here. So here is the Lilly White box. You can see how big this is. And I think this is the 3rd edition. Look at this guidebook. It's enormous. It's enormous. I was going to say it's fucking enormous. It's the 2nd edition. The 2nd edition. I know I don't swear. I choose not to swear because if I start, I don't stop. And I stopped that. I stopped it. I try not to do it. Okay, 2018, 2nd edition. This is such an amazing, chunky little book. And this is proof. Okay, so this is proof that you can create a box, a 2-piece box with a huge little white book, or not so little white book, I should say. And you still have a compact container. This is what I want. I want a compact container. And my God, if you're going to create a compact, if you're going to create a 2-part box and you don't spend the money for the little finger holes, what the heck is something wrong with you? You know, like, where's that Way Home Tarot? Way Home Tarot, I kind of like that deck, but I hate the box. The box doesn't have the little finger holes on it. So it's really, really hard to get open. I also had that open because I was sharing that with somebody this week. So this is proof you can do this. Now, if you look at a deck like this one, Clarkson Potter Publishers, so Tarot of the Divine, they got really, really close, right? So this is a thin little book. This could have been made into a super fat, chunky book, and then we wouldn't have all this extra packaging. Now, granted, this is not a huge package. They got close, but they messed up. They really did mess up. So I personally don't like tarot. I don't like bags. The bags on the shelf, they get messy. I don't have, and I know a lot of you watch Lisa Papez. I can't stand all those bags on the wall, on the hooks. That would drive me crazy. Like, what do you go around with a duster and dust them off? Like, seriously, that's absolutely makes no sense to me. Especially if you only have 10 decks in your collection, it works. But if you have a lot, it just doesn't work. So yeah, so like here's an example. So this is not Llewellyn. This is an indie deck, and we have this horrible packaging. And you know, the box is broken. These kind of boxes don't hold up. It makes no sense to package a deck like this. Give me a small box. I don't want it. I don't want it. What I do want is I want to hear about your story. I want to know about the backstory of the cards. I want to know about the art. I want to know what inspired you to make the deck. I want to know every single detail. If you want to share it with me, I will buy your book. You don't have to put it all in the little white book. Give me an amazing extra book and I will buy it. And I had so much fun reading this book. I felt like I was a little girl again. And I read this in bed, actually. And that's what I want. That's what I want. So packaging, oh my God, do not give me a stupid box like this. Do you have this deck? I haven't even started to deal with this deck because the box is so ridiculous. So this box has a magnetic bottom. Look at this. And it's got the little, then you pull out this piece And then look, so the book is this big, the cards are this big. This is the stupidest box I've ever seen. Anyway, I want to have a look at this deck and give it due and give it some time, but this is the dumbest design I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Think about it. The packaging is really important. I want to get in and out. I want to get in and out of the box. Okay. You guys are funny. Yeah. Andrew doesn't like the Tilleric box either. So I want to comment on Donna's thing. You know what I do appreciate is when there is no cellophane and there's just a paper wrapper, right? We don't need cello on the box, cello on the cards, right? That's so ridiculous. Hello, IJ. Welcome. Yeah. Do you do any like do you have this box? Like this box is it's funny. Donna Thompson. So Donna T does like bags when the box is chunky or clunky, but I prefer the compact boxes. So yes. So if a box is ridiculously large, then I do put my decks in bags. And sometimes what happens is if I'm not working with it, then I do save the original boxes. And so the Hoodoo, which is another ridiculous box, right? Slide out. Then I put it back in the original box if I'm not working with it. So I just pulled this out today. You know, like who can possibly work with a box like this? I want, this is why I'm going to turn the camera. This is why I have my thingy here, right? I want my decks. I want to be able to switch my decks up quickly. And because I'm so busy with my tarot, I need to be able to, yeah. So this is a problem. This is a huge problem. So packaging is important. And one of my favorite decks doesn't have those little thumbnails on it, but the box isn't tight. So I don't know what it is, why some boxes are so tight and some are not. And I don't know if you have a choice when you are purchasing, when you're choosing a printer or how that works. So something, yeah, some new people have popped in. So let us say hello to Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, and I make bags too. But I prefer little boxes. And I saw somebody else come in. Okay. So I know Gerald Tarot Stash has done Tuck Box Rage series, right? He's done a Tuck Box Rage series. This is one I just happen to have. I don't mind a tuck box if it's of the higher quality. It has the little fold here. And this one, of course, doesn't have a little white book in it, so it's not too tight. But yes, if it is too tight, the little white book has to go in the box. I have a box of little white books, and I've also learned how to get decks in and out of tuck boxes. That's a bit of a secret. You know that trick, right? So when you have a tuck box, you look inside in the bottom to see which side the flap is on, so that when you put the cards in, you want to put the first card in so it covers that seal on the bottom, right? So you're not getting caught on the seal on the inside. And then you can just slide the cards in and they go in. It's that little seal on the bottom. That's the problem. So yeah. Anyway, so we're still on the outside. We haven't gone anywhere near the inside. So we're going to talk a little bit more about packaging outside. Okay, yes, exactly. Compact, durable. I'm sorry, my table's so shaky. It's because I'm so energetic here. Compact, durable, 2-part boxes with the thumb thingies. Just, you know, those random, I don't know what they are, lists, or sometimes somebody will do a series of videos about words you never knew. I bet there is a name for these little thumb thingies. And I was going to say, I'll give a prize to the person who can tell me what the actual name of those thumb thingies are. Maybe I will. That's a challenge, to tell me the name of the thumb thingies. Okay. You know what? I'm a little bit OCD. It's okay. I'm not that OCD. I will come to the table without completely cleaning my fingernails from the garden. It's earthy. It's good. Okay, so calming down a little bit here. Right? You'd think. All right. Lots of great comments here. Thank you. Ooh, this is a great hack. Okay, yeah, it really is. It's a great hack. And please feel free to put up some kind of a link to Gerald's playlist, one of the mods. It's really funny. Thumb tabs. That's so boring. There must be like a 3-syllable funky name for them, you know? It would be so much fun if there was an actual funny name for them. I would love that. Thumb cutout. No, I want one word. Somebody's got to come up with one word. Please. Okay, so packaging. Don't give me a clamshell box. I don't want a clamshell box, you know? It's like that little project. Ooh, it's kind of fun. But I don't need a clamshell box. The only time, so I have one exception to a kind of crazy box, and that is this one. This is the most brilliant, creative clamshell box I have ever seen. When I saw this, I thought it was so charming. And Cedar, I don't know where you got the idea for this, but it is so brilliant. So Cedar's Oracle, the Threadbound Oracle, comes in a clamshell box, and it's made to look like a book. And this Oracle deck is the suits are based on the process of making a book, and it makes so much sense, and it's so darn cute. But it's still little. It's little, and it fits on the shelf with all the other small boxes. So there, yeah. Thumb notch. Thumb half moon. Okay, we're getting closer. Hi, Paula. Lovely. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so is that all I have to say about boxes? One more thing about boxes. Please, if you're putting a deck on Make Playing Cards or Printer Studio, would you please design a box? Please. I don't want one of these stupid white boxes. I don't mind a tuck box, but please forget, I don't even want this to be an option. Just give me a box that has your artwork on it, so that when the deck is sitting on my shelf, I know what's inside the box. Okay? Please. Thank you. All right, next one. And you know what? I want to say this. This is really important. Sissy loves clamshell. It's one of her favorites. And I have to say that um, we all like different stuff. Wouldn't it be boring if we all like the same thing? And so I'm just sharing with you stuff that I'm tempted by and stuff that just breaks the deal for me. So this is yeah. So it's great. I prefer thumb thingy. I think I like thumb thingy too. It's more fun until somebody comes up with a single word. Um, and Mimi's here. Welcome. Welcome to Mimi. All right, next, packaging. If you are going to make a bag for your deck, or you're going to get somebody to make it, would you please make it so it fits? So this is one of the bags that's offered on Cedar McLeod's channel. And what would be really cool is if, because I have to fold it over and then put it on my shelf. And I'm okay with that, but it'd be kind of nice if there was like a little elastic or something. Or the bag was designed to be 1.5 inches shorter. Like, I don't get this. Why is the bag this size? Because it was an option, right? It was cheaper to do a standard size than to do a custom size. So when I thought I looked at the measurements when I ordered the bags, but I didn't. So this sucks. Thumb cut. Okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Thumb cut, thumb moon. Love this. All right. So should we talk about gilding next? Yeah, let's talk about gilding. So now I'm going to talk about gilding and cardstock because we're going out and in. Oh, and by the way, I don't care if it's reversible on the back. Doesn't matter to me. I don't understand why this deck is gilded. If you are going to put sparkly edges or colored edges on your deck, I think it really needs to enhance the artwork. So for example, this deck has gold, what do you call it? You know, it's shiny, sparkly. And it does not have gold edges, right? So it would kind of make sense for this deck to have gold edges. I think I'm going to edge it in a pastel color. I love the process of edging decks. You know, this one I find as bizarre as Sasaribito being edged in gold. I do not understand why Sasaribito is edged in gold. It's not a sparkly deck. It's a hard-hitting, tell the truth kind of deck, much like this one is. Like, I don't understand why it's shiny. Makes no sense to me. This one is wearing, which I actually like. I like that the gold is, because I've used this deck a lot. So the gold is wearing off, and it makes it a little more rustic looking, because I don't like that. Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. So what I was going to say that sounds super snobby. Oh my God, this is so snobby. I think the sparkly edges are a temptation. I have a feeling that deck creators think people like it. And there's a part of us that kind of goes, ooh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. You know, I'm thinking of Avalon Cameron's deck, that red edging. Everybody kind of went, ooh, ah. And fortunately, it's chipping. And I say fortunately, it's chipping because then it doesn't make it so hard on your hands. Yeah. And this deck, this one, clamshell box. So we have the holographic turquoise on the back, and then we have the turquoise edges. And we have a lot of turquoise in the deck. So I'm going to give the creator, I'm going to say, okay, it makes sense. It matches. It matches. It makes sense. If you're going to put sparkly edges on your deck, at least let it make sense why you have edged it. But the truth is, I don't need it and I don't want it. I think we are all kind of attracted by sparkly things. And I remember the first time I took out Ember and Aura and shuffled those sparkly pink edges, I thought, ooh, this is so pretty. But you know what? I feel like I've kind of grown up. I don't need it anymore. It's a pain. It's a pain because it makes the decks harder to shuffle. Yeah, I would rather edge my own decks. Or if there's some kind of cool matte edging that doesn't have, yeah, so I think I'm okay with matte edging, but I wanted to show you something else. Schiffer, shame on you, Schiffer. Oh my God. So the edging on this one, I have a couple of copies of the first edition of the Marseille Tarot. And I purchased the second edition because I was doing the series on the Marseille, and I thought, yeah, I need to have these cards in hand. I couldn't believe when I opened this deck, the goo. So this deck is coated in some kind of toxic goo. And when you open the deck, you can actually, as the cards separate, like it took a while before the deck, and it still doesn't. It's kind of getting there, right? But it took a long time to break in the goo, and it was gross. Like I actually took a cloth to some of the cards to wipe off the excess sticky silver gilding. Don't do it. We don't need it. So here's another deck that comes in a stupid box. Give me a little box so I can put it on my shelf. Okay? I don't want your big boxes. And I guess, I make bags as well too, and I have a lot of tarot bags, but I don't like bags. They're hard to stack, and it's hard to stack and organize when you have a large collection. Matte, yes. So I'm trying to think. Hi, Maria. I'm trying to think of matte edge deck that I like, and I don't know. I'll try to think of one. Like Moonchild. Okay, yes, Moonchild had those soft, was it pink? Soft pink edges. Where you almost spewed your tea. That's funny. Hopefully your tea didn't go on your cards. Yeah, so Moondust, it is. I'm sorry, Moondust, if I know your name, could you remind me what your name is, please? Moondust. Let's go. Let's go to Sadhana's list and see if I have Moondust here on my, because I've forgotten your name. No, I don't think I have you there. So, so yeah, if it doesn't impede the shuffling process, then it's okay. It's okay. But also, I want it to make sense. Moondust Essence Tarot. Moondust. Love that. Moondust. Natalie, thank you. Spelt the French Canadian way, or the French way. Okay. Yes. So the process is this. You take a light sandpaper and you remove the gilding card by card with sandpaper. So instead of edging your deck, you de-edge your deck. Doesn't sound like fun to me. I know um, that process, Dawn Michelle, Boho Tarot. So she did that. I think Candy did it as well too. So you can watch their channels, and I know that they've done instructions or they've shared how they have done that for sure. And then Andrew shared matte edging on the Brady Tarot, and on the Star Child decks. Okay, cool. The gold gilding on the Marielle is the absolute worst. I was so mad when I opened the box and saw that. It's ugly. It should be black matte edged. Exactly. The Marielle should be black matte edged for sure. I told you this is going to be a feisty session. Feisty, feisty, feisty. Thank you. Thank you for the membership, Erica. Yeah. You know what, Donna, I don't like the second edition, so I would like if that were possible, and I could say, hey there, Schiffer Red Feather, give me one of these with matte black edges and the original cards, or all the cards. That's what I would like, because I don't like the second edition. I didn't buy it because I have so many shamanic style decks. I didn't buy it, so let us know. Okay, so apparently Brant did a good job with his deck. Great. So thank you. Thank you for all sharing. No idea, Donna. I think a little sandpaper might be necessary. Yeah. You know, this is funny. This is one of the decks that I clean the most. Yeah, I do. And I don't put lotion on my hands and come to the tarot table, obviously. But that deck, the Marielle Tarot and the Druidcraft Tarot, are two decks that I'm constantly wiping. I can't stand, and my fingerprints get all over them. And the Lumina Tarot as well, too. And that's matte backs. Okay, thank you, Dee. Sharon, hello. Welcome. Welcome, Sharon. Thanks for joining into the chat. Okay. All right, so let's go on. Next. So let's talk about cardstock next. I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I don't like. You all know I love to riffle shuffle. And if I can riffle shuffle your deck, I will be happy. Let's just say that. If I can't riffle shuffle the deck, and I need to apologize to who's the creator of Textured Tarot. Maybe somebody can put her name in the chat. Textured Tarot. She's in the UK. And I wrote her a kind of a rude thumbs down comment a long time ago, because I damaged more than one card. I don't think I backbridged it, but that deck is so cardboardy, and I could not understand why anybody would produce such a cardboardy deck. Of all the decks I have, I think that's the most cardboardy. Please don't give me a cardboardy. Yeah, Lisa McLaughlin, who makes beautiful decks. Beautiful decks. Can't stand the cardstock. So I want a cardstock that I can riffle shuffle, and it's not going to bend if I riffle shuffle it. This is the Lilly Waite Tarot. Expensive. That's the childish version. Expensive, right? France. Paying in euros and so forth. And I absolutely love this deck and the cardstock. And you know how much I've used this deck. It's not damaged in any way. And this is for me, this is the perfect GSM. Now, I'm going to say a year or a year and a half after I had this deck, I decided to bite the bullet and buy the Lilly Black Tarot. This is before she came out with the mini version. And I want to say something. I have, and I don't even know if this is possible. So when you purchase black core cardstock, do the cards have to be black? Or is there a layer of paper? Sorry, maybe that's a dumb question. But what I want to say is that there's something about black core cardstock. I have the Marigold Tarot. Unfortunately, that one's very sparkly as well too. But there's something about black core cardstock, and it's really, really lovely. And I'm thinking that because this is black core, then you don't have to even edge it. Black core doesn't have to be black. Okay, good to know. So there's something about the paper quality. And if it is black core, then is the edge of the card black? Does it have to be black? I don't know. Anyway. So cardstock. I'm okay with Llewellyn. There was a kind of shift in Llewellyn decks, and it almost there felt like it got even thinner than ever. There was one deck which I've sold called Inner Child deck. It was a large, colorful fairy tale deck. And that was the thinnest deck I ever owned. And because the cards were so big, if you want to, and I would shuffle them. I don't usually shuffle this way, but, and I don't even know if I can do this because these are quick deck. Like you could shuffle it like this from the corners because the cards were so big. So it made sense that it was so thin. I'm okay with thin cardstock, again, as long as it doesn't fold and it's going to damage the cards. Hi, Amethyst. So the paper quality does matter. And the only, like, we've had a little chat about, different ones. I don't like US Games cardstock. I find it hurts my hands. So like Spirit Song Tarot, Hush Tarot, don't like it. Don't like it. Now, Robin Wood, is this US Games? I have a feeling this is US Games. No, this is Llewellyn. It's Llewellyn. That's Llewellyn. Okay. Yeah, and don't get me going on Hay House. Don't like Hay House stock either. So, and that's just because I'm a riffle shuffler. So I want a not paper thin riffle shuffleable cardstock. And it's not going to damage because it's too thick, and it's not going to damage because it's too thin. Trip and Waite is a thin cardstock, but good. So here's Trip and Waite here. So this is cardcollectibles.com. Andrew, this is not thin. Well, it's kind of like Llewellyn, right? It shuffles really well. It shuffles really well. And yeah, it does kind of get that bendy thing happening, but it's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. And so who publishes this one? Is this Make Playing Cards or Printer Studio? I do like this cardstock. This is good. This is good. US Games, not so good. This one, I believe, is US Games, right? This one is US Games. It's thicker. It's thicker. And I trimmed this one. This one is the Dreaming Way. And so it's a little better, but it's not. I have to overhand shuffle this one. Can't riffle shuffle it because it's got something else going on. So yeah. And I know some of you love US Games cardstock, and we had this conversation the other day. So just I don't. And it's not a deal breaker. I'm not gonna buy a deck. Like when Anna Torian came out with her deck, which you probably noticed I'm not using very much, the black and white deck. I didn't not buy it because it was US Games cardstock. But I have to tell you, because I'm getting more and more selective, US Games is not going to be my first choice. Yeah. Okay, so here's some very specific questions. Okay, I'm going to go to these. A friend just gifted me a vintage copy of The Inner Child with hardcover guidebook, and the cardstock is very nice. Really? Okay, so the one I had by Bear Something Studio, the publisher is Bear Something. It is lovely. I love my Robin Wood. Was paper thin, like super thin. I never seen a deck so thin. Hi, Tina. Welcome to you. 300. I think 300 is perfect. Yeah. We don't need to go to 350. We certainly don't need 400. And Lydiane, so maybe this is, if you love to riffle, shuffle, I don't know, maybe you need more thickness. I have no idea. Andrew, if you are falling in love with the guy in tarot, I would suggest watching eBay and finding an old Llewellyn version. You can get it new, you can get it used. I have the Llewellyn version and I sold my Shiver version. And if you really, really like it, then be patient and put a watch on eBay and see if you can get one for a decent price, because the Llewellyn version is lovely. And so much easier. The guidebook, of course, is color coded with the Schiffer, but the cardstock with the Llewellyn is beautiful. Yeah, and I will not ever sell my Gaian Llewellyn version. I love it. Yeah, the Abyss Tarot. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Bear and Company. Yes. So Bear and Company is the publisher of, I believe, the present publisher of Inner Child Tarot. Okay. Wild Unknown Tarot. Wild Unknown Tarot. Yes, I like that cardstock. So let's talk. Isn't that funny? I don't have any Wild Unknown decks out on my table, which is really bizarre. I really tried to mix things up this spring. So the packaging. And do you know that I heard sometime back that Kim Kranz is working on a new tarot deck. And she is not going to use Harper One anymore. So Harper One will know, she has had a falling out with Harper One. And this is from her. I heard this from her somewhere, some interview, but she didn't say why or what happened. But I do appreciate that Harper One packaging, so that whether you've got the Oracle deck or the Oracle decks or the tarot deck, you have a keepsake of like a permanent 2-part box for the cards, and then the you can put the guidebook on your shelf and then throw away or store the extra box. Now, is that wasteful? I don't think it's wasteful. As long as that outer package is recyclable. So with animal spirit, I know we had that shiny paper, which is not recyclable. So what I want to say is that if, and I will eventually publish a deck. And what I would like to do is have it packaged so that the tarot cards have a nice box, and then the book is in a container, but then the outer package you can just throw out, recycle it, or compost it, even better. Speaking of composting, so I have to give kudos to Three Trees Studio. So Three Trees Studio with their compostable boxes and packaging, yay. I mean, that's just so nice, so brilliant. Yeah. This deck is a little bit thick for me. It's a little thick. I really appreciate that they didn't put, and it makes sense because all of that gilding is toxic. So it makes sense that this company, the Three Trees Studio, didn't put gilding on oak ash and thorn or smoke ash and ember. And perhaps I will do that. I have something to say to Mr. Andrew, because Mr. Andrew said something quite funny here. I don't know where it is. I know there's other comments before this one. Do you know that it is cheaper for me to ship to the US than it is to ship to Canada? So in Canada, if I ship to BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, it's fairly decent price. Shipping to Ontario is astronomical, or Quebec, or the Maritimes. It's really, really expensive. It is way cheaper for me to ship anywhere in the US, including Hawaii, than Eastern Canada. So I think you'll be surprised that shipping won't be that bad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So once in a while, I just find if you mark it, it works. Hi, Lisa. Lisa. Okay. What does this mean? What does this mean? Can somebody tell me what that means? I don't know what that means. A deck that makes me want to throw it is Star Seeker with rose petal finish. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about rose petal finish. It's just dumb. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay. So, you know what? I have a feeling that she must have used a service. She did not. If she used a service and didn't do it herself. So here's another thing. Yes, if you're doing an indie deck, it's probably easier to hire somebody to ship for you, right? Because of the labor. There's the labor involved. And I think that's, when somebody says shipping and handling, right? There's time that's involved in packaging and all of that. So yeah, I don't know, Andrew. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. The handling part and charging a fee for the handling. And yes, rose petal will wear off over time. And it has, like Star Seeker, not Star Seeker, which one was Donna talking about? Donna, are you talking about the one with the purple edges? The purple edged one? The purple edged one. Donna was talking about Star Seeker. Is that the one with the purple edges? I'm getting I'm getting a couple names mixed up in my head. Okay. All right, so we are at an hour and 14 minutes, and we haven't even finished with the cosmetics. So, Beneficial Ben used the word cosmetics, and I have been talking about all of these external things. And you know what I want to say is that all of this prettiness, the cardstock, the gilding, the packaging, really should be secondary. It should be secondary to the quality of the deck, to the beauty of the artwork, to the content of the amazing personal insight that has come in the guidebook and so forth. And next week, I'm going to talk about the inside, the package, the true package of the tarot deck that is important. I'm not going to talk about all of this fluffy stuff that really doesn't matter. Um, for practical reasons, organizing the tarot shelf, accessibility, and so forth, it kind of matters. Um, but for me, the true temptation, the true deal breakers come with the more important stuff, right? And so next Friday, I'm going to get my notes. So next Friday, I'm going to talk about the following. I'm going to talk about theme decks, whether I like theme decks or not. I'm going to talk about straying away from a system, and which systems I prefer or not. I'm going to talk about seasonal decks. That's kind of a theme deck thing. I'm going to talk about collage versus original art, that sort of thing, and what I do with unique interpretations and things like that. So next week, we're going to look at temptations and deal breakers and what I would bring together for my ideal tarot deck in that way. Okay, so this is part one. Stay tuned. Next Friday, part two. Okay, just going to go back to the chat and say goodbye to everybody. Yes. Okay. This is the one. I have this deck too, and I love the pretty purple matte. It has matte edges, by the way. Matte edges, rose petal finish. Thanks, Sharon. That's very sweet. Hey, Paula. Yeah, it's good. It's good to have these chats once in a while, right? Yeah, and I could go on. I could do it now and stay for another hour and a half. I don't think I would be done in an hour and a half. I have so much to say. Let's go to Donna. Are there specific things besides what you covered that make or break a deck? Yes, 100%. 100%. And I'm going to share that with you next week. Okay. And that has to do with the quality, the content of the deck, certain cards, and so forth. Great. Okay, so I will see some of you on Tuesday for Lenormand, and live readings. There's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, and next week we're going to start our deep dive. We're going to start the deep dive of this amazing deck. So if you haven't joined into that, just know that next week, Wednesday, we're going to start our study of, I was going to say Audrey Peterson, Margaret Peterson. Okay, have a lovely weekend, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Okay, namaste. Bye for now.